I was a very young, probably too young, bride. So I had these kids very early.
Sean Diddy Combs allegedly threatened to hit Kimora Lee Simmons, who was pregnant at the time.
They told me they couldn't go after Puff, but they could go after Russell Simmons. Those people knew that Russell Simmons was on the chopping block and something was going on.
Simmons has broken her silence on growing allegations about Diddy being involved in trafficking alongside other high-profile industry men, and she allegedly believes her ex-husband Russell Simmons is one of them. In 2017, multiple women accused Russell of stay, with the youngest alleged victim being just 17. And then months later, Russell moved to Indonesia, a country that doesn't have any extradition treaty with the U.S. Now, as you all know by now, Diddy's Zach Cassie accused Diddy of trafficking Say and DV in a bombshell lawsuit, which he then settled in record time, probably to avoid the discovery phase in trial. So after Cassie's story blew up, a lot of people pointed out that it sounded very similar to what Kimora Lee went through with Russell Simmons. See, Russell was 35 when he met Kimora, who was 15 or 16, while Diddy was 37 when he allegedly started grooming 19-year-old Cassie. Kimora also accused Russell earlier this year of mistreating her and their two daughters, and one of the daughters provided receipts to show Russell as a dangerous and violent man. And then when you add all this to the fact that Kimora was a close friend of Diddy's late girlfriend Kim Porter, it really makes you wonder how deep this rabbit hole goes. So now that Kimora is speaking out on Cassie's lawsuit, will this get the ball rolling to expose all these alleged traffickers in the music industry? And could this also lead to Kim Porter's case being reopened? Let's break it down.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Russell. We love you.
Diddy may have settled the lawsuit with Cassie, but this is definitely not the end, because Cassie opened a can of worms, and by making her story public, she encouraged other people to speak out against Diddy's alleged crimes. One of these people is Kimora Lee, who just broke her silence on Cassie's lawsuit and hinted that Diddy is finally getting the karma he deserves. One day after Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy alleging years of DVSA and trafficking, Kimora shared a story with the mess made. As you ask, so shall you reap. Meanwhile, an old interview with Kimora resurfaced where she spoke about how Diddy once threatened to kill her while she was pregnant back in 2004. Kimora talked about this incident with the New York Magazine, and interestingly, she mentioned her then-husband, Russell Simmons, suggesting that Diddy copied Russell, and everything the article states there was a nasty cloudburst when Kimora said something to Combs and he threatened to hit her, and then Kimora added, "And I was pregnant." And the article goes on to say that Diddy got down on his knees in public to apologize, and Kimora said, "I appreciate knowing that everything he does is emulating my husband now, Diddy, and Russell. We're very close for years, and Russell was a regular at Diddy's infamous parties. Diddy and Russell also reportedly used to vacation together back when Kim Porter was still alive. But what's really disturbing are the similarities between Russell's relationship with Kimora and Diddy with Cassie. Kimora was just 15 or 16 when she met 35-year-old Russell, and they started dating shortly after. Russell later claimed that they didn't begin dating until Kimora turned 18, and back in 2020, he wrote this on Instagram: she was legal at 17, but she turned 18 that May. Her mother and her manager, Beth and Hardis, approved, supported, and rushed us. We really didn't need a push, but as many fans pointed out, nothing Russell says makes him look innocent, because a 35-year-old man dating an 18-year-old girl may be legal, but it's still predatory anyway." Russell and Kimora got married in 1998, and they share two daughters, Mingle and Aoie. However, Kimora and Russell's marriage was rocky from the start due to Russell's controlling behavior and anger outbursts. In 2008, Kimora filed for divorce. But that's when the real nightmare started, and Russell allegedly began harassing and threatening her and their daughters after she initially tried to keep this away from the public to protect her daughters. Kimora reached a boiling point earlier this year and went on Instagram Live to expose Russell for mistreating them for years.
He's even said things to them like, "Why did you go to college? You shouldn't have gone to college. You wasted that money. You could have saved it," while I'm up here trying to hustle the kids over the finish line. But I think it comes a time when you guys have to ask yourself, why are these women, young women, not supportive or not really trying to hear that? Or what have they gone through? What have they seen that they, that has turned them off, or that has put a bad taste in their mouth? We've seen a lot lately over the years.
By the way, doesn't this remind you of the way Diddy always talks about how much he loved Kim Porter whenever someone goes out of their way to shove love and positivity in everyone's face 9 times out of 10? They're covering up something, but it gets worse. Kimora later shared a series of stories explaining why she decided to expose Russell, and she claimed that he threatened to unalive her kids. One of Kimora's daughters, Aluki, later confirmed all this and claimed she had evidence of Russell harassing them.
This person has not been to any events, did not come to graduation, no, he wasn't particularly wanted, but no one stopped you, hasn't sent a flower or a gift or a kind word.
And this could explain why Russell fled to Bali after multiple women came forward in 2017, accusing him of saying he knew he didn't have the money or connection to fight this in court. Just months after allegations surfaced, Russell sold his properties in the US, moved to Bali, and reinvented himself as a yoga teacher. And if you look at his Instagram, he now constantly shares posts about love and spirituality again. Doesn't this remind you of someone? Love, I changed my name to Shan Love Comes, I'm Siri. What else about love? Y'all, I'm all in on love. I decided I'm just gonna be love all the way. Diddy, however, has different kinds of money. And sadly, we've seen time and time again how these ultra-rich and powerful people get away with doing the worst types of crimes. By the way, this is also something that Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal mentioned a few years ago when he said that he tried to pitch a book about Diddy, Russell, and other shady industry men, and he was told they could go after Russell, but not Diddy. Oh, and Gene also mentioned something about Diddy and Jay-Z covering up for Russell. People was disgusted on how Jay-Z came, and Puff is coming out for Russell Simmons. They told me they couldn't go after Puff, but they could go after Russell Simmons. Those people knew that Russ Simons was on a chopping block and something was going on. Fans are now urging Kimora to reveal everything she knows about Diddy and Russell, and they're speculating these trafficking allegations go all the way to the top in Hollywood. One fan said the way it was described in the lawsuit about Diddy filming Cassie on multiple devices, adjusting the candles, and wearing masks while she was sounds like some called ritual is I think he was filming to show other rich elites, and another person added something else will come out about Diddy by March-April 2024. Don't be surprised if Kimora Lee Simmons will speak on something she saw, but let us know if you think Diddy and Russell were covering up for each other, and do you think Kimora knows more about Diddy's alleged crimes? Comment down below, and don't miss out on this next